It was a night that shook the state of Pennsylvania. In the early hours of April 13, 2025, a fire engulfed the governor's mansion in Harrisburg. The residence, home to Governor Josh Shapiro and his family, became a scene of chaos and fear. The fire, we now know, was no accident. It was a deliberate act of arson. Governor Shapiro, his wife, and their 4 children were inside the mansion when the fire broke out. They had just hosted another family for Passover Seder the previous evening. It was around 2 o'clock in the morning when the flames erupted, jolting the occupants from their sleep. The family, along with their guests and their 2 dogs, were thankfully able to evacuate safely. The speed at which the fire spread was alarming. The historic structure, with its wooden framework and antique furnishings, was quickly consumed by the flames. Firefighters arrived on the scene to battle the blaze, working tirelessly to contain the inferno. The events of that night left the state in shock, raising serious questions about security and the motives behind such a brazen attack. The authorities wasted no time in apprehending the suspect. Cody Balmer, a 38-year-old resident of Harrisburg, was arrested shortly after the fire was extinguished. Balmer's arrest sent shockwaves through the community, as investigators began to piece together his motives and his connection to the governor. Balmer, it was discovered, had a history of criminal activity. His record included charges of forgery and theft. Even more disturbing was his confession to the police. Balmer admitted to setting the fire, revealing a deep-seated hatred for Governor Shapiro. He had planned the attack meticulously, constructing Molotov cocktails using gasoline and beer bottles. According to his confession, Balmer had scaled the fence surrounding the governor's mansion under the cover of darkness. He used a hammer to smash 2 windows, gaining entry through one of them. Once inside, he deployed his incendiary devices, igniting the fire that would engulf the residence. Balmer's actions were not impulsive. They were calculated and chillingly deliberate. He had even admitted that, had he encountered Governor Shapiro during the attack, he would have attacked him with the hammer. The fire at the governor's mansion left behind a trail of devastation. The historic 29,000-square-foot Georgian-style residence, which had housed 8 governors since 1968, was severely damaged. The flames had ravaged the interior, leaving behind charred walls, collapsed ceilings, and ash-covered floors. Photographs released to the public painted a grim picture of the destruction. Furniture lay in ruins, consumed by the fire. Portraits of former governors, once proudly displayed, were reduced to ashes. The damage to the historic structure was not just physical, it was a blow to the state's heritage. Governor Shapiro, despite the harrowing experience, addressed the public with remarkable resilience. He condemned the violence, emphasizing that it was an attack not just on him and his family, but on the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. He vowed that he would not be deterred from his duties, declaring that such hatred would not prevail. Shapiro, a devout Jewish man, noted the significance of the attack occurring just after his family had hosted a Passover Seder, a time of reflection and celebration. He spoke out against the rising tide of political violence, urging unity and understanding in a time of deep division. The fire at the governor's mansion sent shockwaves throughout Pennsylvania and beyond. The attack on a sitting governor, a symbol of the state's leadership, raised serious concerns about security and the growing threat of political violence. In the aftermath of the fire, the Pennsylvania State Police and the FBI launched a joint investigation. They are meticulously retracing Balmer's steps, examining his background, and searching for any potential accomplices. The investigation also extends to the security measures in place at the governor's mansion. Questions are being asked about how someone, even with criminal intent, could breach the perimeter and carry out such a brazen attack. A thorough review of security protocols is underway, with the aim of preventing such an incident from ever happening again. The attack on Governor Shapiro's residence serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the ever-present threat of violence in today's world. As the investigation continues, the hope is that it will shed light on the factors that led to this horrifying event and provide a roadmap for preventing such tragedies in the future. The nation watches and waits for answers.